We're going.
We're going.
Whoa. Hello everyone. Welcome to Bangers, Bops, and Banter. We're on. This is episode 14. Man, time flies when you run a podcast, right? Right.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
All right. I'm one of your hosts, Joe. We got Brendan here, the other host.
Brendan.
Whoa, we have a guest, as we always do. Oh, Jason.
That's me with Jason.
Yes.
We don't have a guest, but
we got well, I guess at first we got a not so fun show, but then we got afterward we're discussing music and movie news first, which has some depressing stuff in it.
News is always a mixed bag, so we will.
Yeah. But then afterwards we're going to be discussing the Toy Matinee's self-titled album, their only album, released in 1990. And afterwards we're going to be discussing the movie Cold War, which we watched this week. All right, so let's get into the news. Firstly, Genius lawsuit against Google over allegedly lifted lyrics was dismissed. Basically, Genius accused Google of taking Genius's published lyrics without permission. But they've I guess it's been dismissed.
I don't know. This makes sense because I feel like there are songs where if you look at the lyrics on Genius and you look at the lyrics on Google, they're different sometimes. So.
They note that Genius uses a watermark where they alternate between the curly and the straight single quote marks. And they notice similarities between their lyrics and Google's lyrics. Does Google have their own dedicated lyrics thing? I always thought they pulled from a different website and just displayed
No, they have their own. I'm pretty sure they have their own lyrics thing, but they outsource it to another company, I believe.
I see. Well, it didn't happen in the eyes of the law, so it doesn't matter.
Haha.
Yeah.
Genius. No, actually, I like Genius.
Genius, they're cool. Although a lot of the time, the Genius interviews where the artists explain their lyrics, they're
they don't even
not good.
Most of the time.
except for Zach Fox's one.
Oh, that one is so insightful. There's some.
It's so good.
They they have one for Money Machine by 100 Gex, and 100 Gex are just yeah, I was just I just wrote that, and that's the entire video.
Don't forget about the backpack kid. His ID.
Oh yeah, the floss dance kid who sued Fortnite. I think he sued Fortnite.
Yes, he did sue Fortnite.
And he won.
Yes. I don't know if he won.
I thought Fortnite for stealing their dances won.
I don't remember. I don't know if they won. I know Fortnite be stealing dances though.
They do.
Yes. Well, moving on. Lizzo was in a court battle over Truth Hurts, where basically she was basically alright. The weird situation. So Lizzo originally sued some people in October of 2019 seeking a judicial declaration that they didn't co-author Truth Hurts, and they have no rights to co-own it or share in the profits. And then the people that she sued countersued Lizzo for royalties. And that countersuit has now been dismissed. Or let's see, her motion to dismiss the first counterclaim was granted. And now they get basically they're going back to the drawing board, I guess.
Because right now they're getting nothing then, which I'm sure they're not happy about.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, a kind of interesting situation. Next, Beck is teaming with NASA for a visual album, which is really interesting, called Hyperspace.
So I mean, he came out. What was Hyperspace last year? Or this?
Yeah, so Hyperspace was last year, and this is.
I don't think. I'm interested.
Basically,
in the visuals they put with that album, because it wasn't very interesting in the first place, in my opinion.
The Hyperspace AI Exploration visual album experience utilizes the visuals from NASA missions, artificial intelligence, and music from the latest Beck album. So I guess it's an AI. It's an AI that's like putting them together.
Okay,
which is cool. It's cool stuff. But yeah. The next, I guess we do. There's some more lighthearted stuff before we get into the like super heavy part. Kanye West accuses Democrats of spying on his campaign. Thank you, Kanye. I'm
sure Democrats are very interested in seeing Kanye's campaign strategies. I believe this.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe this is in response to being booted from the Illinois presidential ballot because a lot of the signatures he submitted were fake. And he missed the deadline. So like, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but he really wants to run, so I think they should let him.
I think we just shouldn't let Kanye run because I don't want to live in a country with Kanye West as president. Like, just like, don't even give it a chance.
Well,
it already has zero chance, but don't even like try.
I want him to run and win, and then I'll cry and try and leave the country or just be homeless or something. I don't know. But I think it'd be really funny just to get past that first step, you know, where he wins.
Yeah. Well, all right, depressing news time. We'll start with the slightly less depressing news. I don't know. Is this?
This is the one that we kind of, I guess, is more expected.
Yeah. 3 R. Kelly associates charged with intimidating alleged victims. The accusations include bribery, harassment, and arson.
Whoa.
So some pretty
a bit much.
Yeah, some pretty yeah. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, he's one of them is accused of bribing an alleged victim by offering her $500,000 to keep her from cooperating with the government. Oh man. All right. The third man in this case, though, Michael Williams, is said to have, or he's said to be related to a former R. Kelly publicist. He is accused of setting fire to an SUV parked outside a residence in Florida where an alleged victim in the Kelly case and others were staying. Yay.
That's hardcore. Like
That
bribery
is-
bad, but you're not really hurting anybody. Like arson is like that's dangerous, man. Don't do that. It's bad.
Yeah. Man. All right. I guess we go into the thing that I'm like depressed about. Mostly is that 3 women have come forward to accuse Mark Kozelek of Sun Kill Moon of sexual misconduct. I believe 2 of them have shared their accounts of him sexually assaulting them, and one of them, I believe, was just talking about his like more sexual harassment. I will say, like, I guess I don't really want to. Do we want to read the like accounts because they're pretty?
You are
Oof.
welcome to. I'm not gonna stop you.
They're pretty detailed and they're really not. They're not flattering for Mark, I guess, to put it politely. But yeah, it's not looking good. I guess this is really depressing to me because that's what Mark Kozelek made Benji, which is one of my favorite albums ever. So dealing with this is pretty oof. But let's move on to something more exciting, more fun. We got movie news, and specifically this first thing of movie news. All right, it involves Muse. Okay, so like it's got to be good. Basically, Muse have announced a Simulation Theory movie, and I'm so pumped.
Is it gonna be released in theaters? I want to see it. I want to see this as fast as possible.
Let me see. I don't know if it's. I know it's going to be played in at least one theater. Or it says it's coming to IMAX theaters, actually.
Yo,
Yes.
I'm gonna go see Muse in IMAX.
I want to. Honestly, I really want to.
Be so. There'd be a bunch of people there who are like serious like Muse fans, and you and I'd be like, "Oh, dude, I love Radiohead."
It's weird. It's really weird because it's like a concert / narrative film. It seems like. It seems interesting. I'm actually pretty interested in this.
Okay.
Simulation Theory wasn't a bad album. I thought it was pretty alright. So I'm excited for that. Alright, next in movie news. HBO they did it again. Oh no.
No.
Do you remember when people got really angry that HBO added a disclaimer before Gone with the Wind? Because
it hasn't aged well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is the right move to do. They did it again, but with Blazing Saddles, which has aged a lot. I mean, it's certainly aged way better
Yeah.
than Gone with the Wind. But this disclaimer is mostly making sure people understand the context of the film and like the races, how the racism within it is satirical, basically.
Yes.
Which is good. Good job, HBO. Next, in probably the best piece of news today, is there's a Lego Star Wars holiday special coming to Disney Plus.
Is it a remake of the Star Wars Christmas special?
I don't think so because the photo here has like the new cast.
No.
But I wish it was. Oh my god. I really hope it's like they need to just remake the original holiday special with like the weird porn virtual reality thing.
I quote from the article: "The Lego Star Wars Holiday Special will give a wink and nod to the original."
Oh my god! So we're gonna get VR porn.
Yeah, I think that's the only part that they're actually including in the new one.
It's the
Is
only
this-
part that matters?
And
Yes.
Chewbacca has a kid.
Lego porn.
That definitely exists. Like that's already. I joke, but I really hope that's not even like mentioned in the Lego one because man, that part is so weird. Man, I've tried watching the holiday special before, and I got 30 minutes in before I was like, I can't. No.
I feel like it would be something good to watch if you were all drunk with your friends.
I don't know because it's just. Well, actually, I mean maybe, but it's like, it's really boring.
It is really boring. I don't know. Be interesting.
Yeah. Next, or I guess finally in movie news, there's a new movie trailer for Netflix, which seems to be like the only place that has released like good movies this year. Well, actually, that's not true. Is the only place where movies have released this year. But it's for a new movie called The Devil All the Time. It's directed by Antonio Campos. I haven't seen the rest of any of his other films, but I've heard some decent things about them. And it looks pretty interesting. And it stars Spider-Man and Edward from Twilight.
I love Spider-Man and Edward from Twilight.
And the Winter Soldier. Don't forget about
Yes, also the Winter Soldier. It's actually, I have to say, it's really interesting. The marketing for this, like the trailer is like, it's the devil all the time and stars Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson. But like Robert Pattinson isn't like, he seems to be like a big part of the story, but not like a main character, you know?
Mm.
So I don't know. It seems pretty interesting. It's coming out. When is it coming out? Where's the date? September 16th. Whoa. So yeah. That's it for the news. Pretty mixed bag. We got Leo Holiday special and sexual assault.
Also Muse, so it's okay.
Also Muse. Muse, probably the highlight if I'm being honest.
I was something very quiet when I said that. I'm sorry.
You were.
We have Muse. That's
He was watching Muse.
Muse, man. Just gets me.
I love me some Moose, you know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I don't know. You know? When are Radiohead and Muse gonna like do a song together?
I thought they already did. I thought there was a song called "Creep." That was.
Oh yes, but that's like a collaboration because you got Radiohead, you got Coldplay, you got Muse, you also have Weezer. You know.
Yeah, I remember that part. When Rivers Cuomo, just during Creep, he's like, "But I'm a creep. I'm a."
Yeah, man.
Yeah. God, why wasn't Creep on the Weezer cover album? That would have been actually so good.
It really would have been.
Oh, missed opportunities, Weezer. Take notes.
Like, if I'm being honest, it probably would have been the best song on that album.
Probably.
All right. Do we want to get into review?
Yeah.
Toy Matinee. Jason, you chose this on a whim, you said?
I did, yeah. I googled one-hit wonders for albums. one album wonders. That's the word. And this was somewhere down the list. Didn't know anything about it going into it, and I'm not sure I would have chose it in hindsight. But hey, there's some highlights. There's a good amount of lowlights. But I'm happy to talk about it nonetheless.
All right.
So,
Well,
wow.
do you want to introduce the album, or like
Oh,
I can introduce it if you want to?
go ahead.
All right. So Toy Matinee, it's a collaboration between two guys who have much better careers outside of Toy Matinee. One sec, let me get this up. Yeah, so we have Patrick Leonard, who's the producer for Madonna, Elton John, and Jewel, and probably a lot more people. And we got Kevin Gilbert, who's he's a songwriter for He's a songwriter for Sheryl Crow. And they came together to make an album. What do you boys think of this album that they made?
I'm gonna start out. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I told Jason this a couple days ago. I'm gonna say it again. This album is too late for the 80s and too early for the 90s.
Okay. No, I said this album is 10 years too late.
But like there's
Like,
definitely
it's
elements of like 90s alternative rock in it, I feel. Like, just, like,
I disagree. I think it's mainly like a combination of like, I mean, like, I guess maybe there's a little bit of like REM in,
yeah.
but like for the most part, I feel like it's just like, it's like they combined Dire Straits and like what's the band?
Anything 80s.
No, fucking Supertramp.
Oh yeah, I heard Supertramp 100%.
Yeah, like they just were like, hey, let's mash these together.
I thought that Kevin Gilbert's vocals rooted this like firmly in the 90s.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from. I felt that his vocals firmly rooted this as bad.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. This album, it's weird. It certainly doesn't know what it wants to be. It's very inconsistent. There's some not that bad stuff on here. Like Last Plane Out, the opener, not a bad song, I think.
Ooh, no.
We'll promise
What?
this song. Okay.
It's like I think the vocals across a lot of this album suck, but there's songs where they suck less because they feel like they fit better with the rest of the instrumentation. But this one, like Last Plane Out, just feels so goofy and stupid.
I kind of
The
enjoyed
bass
about it.
sucks and the guitar sucks so much.
I thought Gilbert's vocals fit this song better than some of the other songs on the album.
I will agree with that, but they still didn't fit it well.
I thought Last Plane Out and Turn It On Salvador were like okay, and then the album just took a nosedive and flatlined. Like it was like Turn It On Salvador was like, all right, cool, we got some like clarinet coming in the end here. It's like trying something new, and the rest of the songs were just like these shitty anthems, like shitty generic radio anthems that just had no life to them whatsoever. It's like they wrote the first two songs, they were vibing, and then like they waited until release day and then wrote the rest and put them out.
Okay. I disagree a lot because I think the first two suck a ton. They just have this like, they sound like they're recorded in like a metaled can. They were just like, hey, is this snare like tinny sounding enough? No? Alright, let's make it more tinny. And like they just like I think the production on these songs suck, and like
I definitely yeah, for coming from a producer who's produced for Madonna and Elton John, the production is not high quality in the least.
yeah.
It when I first listened to it, I was like, oh, this is some shitty startup band that never got out of their parents' garage. But I guess not. So it is odd just how uninviting a lot of these songs are. I guess is one way to say it. There's just I think there are a few good ideas. I think some of these anthems, as Jason said, I don't mind them. Like Things She Said, I think is catchy enough. I don't think it's great by any means.
Yeah, I think that's for me. That's one of the better tracks, but it just sounds like bad REM.
Yeah, like there's definitely just too many other bands here. They don't have Toy Matinee doesn't have a consistent sound on this album, or they don't have their own unique sound either, really. And yeah, I don't know. There's not. It doesn't have like any personality on this album either.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Turn It On Salvador. That was my favorite song on the album.
Okay.
Because I just thought, like, okay, it doesn't fit with the rest of the album because I thought the rest of the album sucked and was slow. And just like, I don't know, what was set up by the first two tracks just was gone by the rest of the album. But I know you don't like Turn It On Salvador.
Yeah, I guess for me the only track I liked, or I would say thought was like decent, was the closer. We Always Come Home. Or I didn't realize it was the closer.
So the closer on Spotify was Blank Page, I think.
Yeah, that was part of the reissue.
Right.
The original track listing only went up to We Always Come Home.
Okay. And you liked We Always Come Home?
Yeah, I think part of that is because I feel like I've heard the song before.
Like We Always Come Home, and I also get that feeling.
Yeah, something about the chorus makes you think I've heard it before, but I don't. Like, I'm not into this genre of rock most of the time, so I can't like put my finger on it. But I swear I've heard it before, or maybe a band covered it, or like maybe they just ripped off like an REM song or something. And that's why I think I've heard it before. So
it's funny you say that. I like to, as I listen to albums with the intent of like reviewing them, I like to review the songs as I go. And I gave We Always Come Home a solid 4.
Yo, nice.
Was it higher than your score, despite you liking it?
No. No. I guess if I had to rate We Always Come Home, I'd give it like a 6.
I can't wait to see what your album scores.
That's alright, it's not very good. Like I guess there's songs on here that I don't think are terrible. I guess Remember My Name is like a really boring, bland piano rock song. But like I think the chorus is decent.
It sounded like a campground cover band covering a Queen song. Remember My Name.
Oh damn, that hurts. The words hurt, man. That's some heavy shit.
Most of this album sounds amateur.
Mhm.
Yeah, it does.
Which is surprising, given the backgrounds of many of the band members.
Yeah.
Like, they had Guy Pratt, who was playing with Pink Floyd at the time.
Oh my god.
Brian McLeod, who did drumming with Sheryl Crow. This guy Tim Pierce, he was a session guitarist. He worked with Michael Jackson, the Goo Goo Dolls, Alice Cooper, etc., etc. And like they all just came together and just put out their worst shit yet.
Like, I don't understand how they all were like, yes, this is the one, dude.
Did you also know that Julian Lennon was involved in the production of this album?
Who's that?
Who's that?
Yeah, he's John Lennon's son.
Oh, the one Moon?
Not quite.
I don't think Duncan Jones is that old, Brendan.
No.
You're talking about the subject of Hey Jude by the Beatles?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But Jude worked on this album. So you could say that the Beatles worked on this album. And it still came out like this.
No, the Beatles.
I don't think that's a very probably.
Is this the only bad Beatles album?
I mean,
Let It Be?
Well, Let It Be's not bad. It's just really boring. It's like their worst stuff, but it's like not a terrible album. It's just like fine.
I guess. I don't know. You can listen to like Ringo's solo albums.
I mean, those don't count. I mean, like, I guess if we're counting anything the Beatles have ever been involved in, that's all. That's a lot of shit.
It is a lot of shit.
I have another question. Was that a harpsichord on Last Plane Out?
Last Plane. Wait.
I don't even remember.
Is there? Wait.
This
Where's
album
Last
doesn't
Plane
give
Out?
enough of an impression.
Oh, is there? Oh, this the first track.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea. I didn't even look at the lyrics for this album because I didn't give a shit.
I'm just looking at the production personnel. Maybe it was like a synth thing or something like that.
Probably sound like a synth or like there's like an organ on all these tracks. That's something that actually weirdly spring to mind. Is like there's like the guitars occasionally remind me of Ghost. It's just so weird.
I didn't get that vibe.
There's like a slightly like dark sound to the guitars sometimes.
Oh, I just
Specifically on like
production.
It's just like the way they certain notes they chose just reminded me a lot of Ghost. Except Ghost is really good, and this isn't.
I feel like I liked the that interlude better than a lot of the album.
That and the the Toy
you made
Matinee
him
backwards.
yacht and
Oh, the one
Yeah.
that's on the reissue? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Spotify, the reissue has the three songs where with the
yeah. They didn't help anything.
They were like, I was like, there's a difference between these?
I think on things she said, like the first chorus just didn't have drums. I think that was like the only thing that was changed.
Oh, damn.
It's just, I wish I never picked it.
No, this is fine.
Oh man! Imagine you like showed someone the like demo of things she said, and then afterwards you played like the now complete song for them, and they're just like, "I thought you were gonna make it sound good. I thought that was just a demo."
No, we added drums.
Drums, they boop.
what's funny is as I was looking through that like list of like one album wonders, I was like listening to individual songs for like 10 seconds, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds cool," and I picked it. But then you listen to the rest of the album, and it's not cool.
Did you just listen to the intro of Last Plane Out?
No. I tried all the songs to kind of get the general idea.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, I only listened to the intro of Last Plane Out. This was very different from what I expected.
I will say, okay, you know how I said I liked the first two songs and then everything went downhill from there. I do wonder if that's because like I was enthusiastic at first and then I just got really tired of it after a while. Because it's very similar sounding.
Yeah, I will say there's definitely a sonic. There's like a difference in the sound of the first two compared to the rest of them.
Exactly. That's what I was. You go.
It does feel like the rest of the album is kind of like ballads, sort of. I guess whatever. But the first two are like it's a weirdly new wave in a way.
They were playing with some different sounds on the first two songs. Like I like instruments like clarinet on rock albums. Like you don't see that appear as much as it should, and they did it once, even though I thought it was like it added up to like a success for that song.
Yeah.
And they had some like funky synths and bass lines on the first two songs, which I know you said suck, but you guys are. Well listened in comparison to me. But then after that, like I wish they continued that formula because I feel like it would have made for at least a decent album. But then they just come up with these shitty ballads that aren't worth listening to whatsoever for the rest of the album, and it's just meh.
Yeah. Like I think a lot of it is just like the production sucks on these songs. They're just like they aren't mixed well. Like whatever space they were recording, I don't know, maybe they like super like edited the sounds that they like were putting onto the tracks because they just like it just sounds so weird and off, like they're playing with toys. See, because they're toys.
Yeah.
Toy Matinee. It's like I just made that connection. That was the point of the album. They were playing it with like this dollar store like guitars or something.
A Fisher Price drum set.
Yes.
Joy, do you still have your toy piano with
Oh yeah, that's somewhere.
The
new.
Oh, new.
I was hoping you had it on hand. You're just gonna.
No, I don't know where it is right now. It's probably in my room somewhere.
I have an automaton. I can play the guitar or something.
Yeah, well, let's put that on hold for now.
Wait, Jason, do you know any new? It's a genre, according to my piano. My like $30 child's piano.
No,
it's apparently a genre.
Oh wow!
It doesn't sound like any genre I've ever heard.
No, this is its own genre.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
I guess the last thing I want to say about this album is that I hoped that they made one album and stopped because it was like it fell through or like they were really well loved and then things just didn't come together on the second album. But they actually only had one album because it was really bad and that no one wanted a second one.
I do,
people seem to want this album enough that they reissued it, so.
What can we talk about the lyricism though? Like, what did you guys think of that?
Boring.
I didn't think of it because I couldn't be fucked to look up the lyrics. Which probably I don't usually do that for albums, even like bad albums. I try to like look up the lyrics, but I was just like you listen to the chorus and it's like really boring, and I'm like I don't need to look at the lyrics. It's not going to be anything interesting. But I don't know, maybe my ranking of the album would go up if I actually did. So
For like some of these, most of them are just pretty much basic. What rock songs were written about in the 90s, like the soft rock, like Gin Blossoms and stuff like that. Any standouts? I guess the Ballad of Jenny Ledge was solid for lyricism, I think. Other than that, nothing comes to mind for me, at least. I don't know, Jason, you brought up the point. Do you have something that you wanted to say about it?
I don't know. I thought that it was at least... I don't know. Like, I liked Last Plane Out at some points. It almost... I don't know what it reminded me of, but... There was something about cake. With cake and vulgar surplus, we can have it and eat it too. Now that I'm looking back at that, it's kind of cringe, though. Well, okay, this is good. Yeah, I think there were 5 good men here yesterday, but they were asked to leave. That's a bad place right there, don't you think so?
Was that the lyrics? Or
no, that was... sorry. Yes, the quote, yes, I think there were 5 good men here yesterday, but they were asked to leave, end quote.
Okay.
I'm sorry? What?
What do you mean? What?
Like, I'm confused. What is the point?
What is the point of the lyric?
I don't remember the context.
Or am I bringing it up?
Well, both. Like,
I brought it up. I don't know. They're in a bad place. They're in Sodom or whatever. I don't fucking know.
They're asked to leave, but was it just like... It's like...
Listen, there's context to everything. I can't read you the whole song.
They're like in, like, Mos Eisley or whatever, and
yeah,
it's like...
Exactly.
It's like a hive of scum and villainy. And it's just like these 5, like, really good people. They're just, like, super positive, and they're just like, you can't be here, man. You guys can't be here.
Alright, I'll just say... While it might not be good, it's not generic to a certain degree.
That's true. It doesn't make any sense, though.
Yeah.
Maybe one second. I'm gonna look up this song to make sure I have the entire context, because maybe,
something about it being a bad place and wanting to get the last plane out. I don't know.
I don't know about them not being generic, personally.
You don't know about them not being generic?
Well, I mean...
How this album ends up is generic.
No. That specific... I'm pretty sure he's referring just to that line.
Oh, that line. Okay.
It's not overly repetitive or anything. Like,
this album?
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's deeply... It's not like a cerebral album, but I'd say that they don't, like... I don't know. I don't know what to say. Yeah, this album, it's kind of repetitive in, like, sonically, but I thought that the lyrics weren't, like... I don't know what to say.
I like the part where Icarus hijacks the little red hen.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Just because you don't get it. Guys, you guys just aren't smart, that's all.
No.
You aren't on Kevin Gilbert's level. Look at this. Also, I wonder... Okay, this is just a different thought. Kevin Gilbert actually passed away at the young age of 29.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I wonder if that is why we never saw another Toy Matinee album. Because generic bands succeed sometimes,
I don't see these guys succeeding.
It was their first album. Production doesn't have to be perfect on your first album.
I mean, most artists' first album aren't, like, great, usually.
Alright. I take back what I said about saying the songwriting was good. I just want to say this one line. Quote, "Holy rotting donkey carcass butterfly, even tide eggs you fried out of luck," end quote.
What?
Goddamn poetry right there.
I think whoever wrote in the lyrics to Genius didn't accurately transcribe them. Because then Then it says, what the parentheses, some 15th century German word and parentheses.
This is like
So
when you're like, this is what you're like.
This is on Turn It On Salvador, in case you're wondering.
You know, wait, what are these quote? Is like, it's like when you listen to like a Radiohead song and you're like, that's really beautiful and poetic, but I'm not quite sure what that means. But like in a Radiohead song, you can like dig into that. You can try and figure out what it means, and you can like. There's usually like an interesting explanation behind it. This is like that, except it's not poetic and there is no explanation.
So this was written as a Turn It On Salvador was written as a tribute to Salvador Dali.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if there's some like references that I'm not understanding.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know if Holy Rotting Donkey Carcass Butterfly E has anything to do with Salvador Dali.
What is, that has to be wrong. Like, there's no way it's just because, like, I guess, like, eventide eggs you fried, like that, I kind of get. Because, like, I don't know, you got, like, those melting clocks, which I guess look like eggs. Fried eggs.
I feel like
Where you're coming from with that, yeah.
I feel like whoever wrote this knew Salvador Dali better than I do that. Or they just, or they know a lot less than I do.
There's probably, yeah.
There are two extremes here.
Imagine the guys were in like the studio and they're just writing the song and they're like, hey, let's make a song about Salvador Dali. That would be really cool. Yeah. What do you know about Salvador Dali? Nothing. I don't know anything. Do you know anything? No. Well, let's just make shit up. And they're like, he has like those clocks.
They look like eggs.
Yeah, there's like some stuff like time melts away while he tries to make the holes. Yeah, like that seems accurate. I guess we don't know anything about Salvador Dali, really.
We know the clocks. He's got melting clocks.
Yeah, well, yeah, time melts, you know. You got melting clocks. There's probably a bunch of these are probably references to his paintings. Like ants and hands, no demands, eyeing out a point of view or two. Like that's gotta be a Salvador Dali painting where someone is just holding ants, or maybe Salvador Dali really liked to hold ants.
Whoa! We got past the sexual misconduct part of the news.
What?
Sorry, bad joke.
Yes, this is very bad. Also, what is this like? Brutally offensive, but never a bore. What was Salvador Dali like? Offensive, or considered offensive?
I didn't know him.
You're just like, I don't know him. I can't, you know?
Another highlight. On the Ballad of Jenny Lynch, he was describing his ex-girlfriend, and he said she, quote, had the legs of a thoroughbred, end quote.
Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that line.
She's a centaur.
Yeah.
Because like that, you could take that very different directions. Because you could be like, she's a dog, or a horse, or something, or you could be like, she's the like prime breed of human, and it's like,
I don't know. I think at some points the lyrics are coherent and they can make something, something to look
they're
at.
definitely. I guess I wouldn't call them generic, but they just feel like they missed the mark. Like they feel somewhat nonsensical. but not in like a fun way,
Not
not in a David Bowie way.
yeah, like the way the lyrics are like weird and out there. It like really doesn't match the sound of the album, which is generally boring rock.
Yeah, like you feel like you should just be talking about cars or something. But
Yeah.
he's talking about like I don't know, nuts.
There's blocks and
Bombs. Eee.
There's also like I have to say there's a ton of lyrics on all these songs. Like holy crap.
because they're long songs.
Yes.
They are long, but like I don't know, usually when like a song's like 6 minutes, it's like I don't know, unless it's like a rap song, the lyrics aren't like too long. Just because like when you have long songs, a lot of the time is spent on composition rather than lyrics.
No, they have like 4 verses on like each of these songs at least.
God damn, dude, that's like a lot.
It is a lot.
Tempted by.
They put a lot of time into this album, and it's this.
I'm sorry,
Ugh.
tempted by half Elvis, half man about town, and a life of ease. She runs on for the Vegas King.
His apparently his ex-girlfriend left him for an Elvis impersonator.
Oh, how did they come up with this? And why? I feel like this is a concept. This is like a concept for a song that I could, like, if David Bowie made a song like that, that would be super fun. But like, it's just boring piano rock. It's so weird.
Well,
You wanna give scores?
Want to give our conclusions?
My score has dropped since I started talking to you guys.
Probably. I'm the same way, honestly.
It's dropped for me. I guess not like too much, but I've very much become confident in my score. I guess I'll start. So this album sounds like it came out in like 1980, but it came out in 1990, and I guess there's a little bit of like REM in there, because why not? Might as well. It's really boring. The production is terrible. There's maybe 1 or 2 songs I think are all right, or like decent. I like the closer, I guess. We Will Always Come Home. But like outside of that, yikes. I'd give this album a 3. Like a 3 out of 10.
All right, for me, before we started talking about this, I admittedly had not. I during my listens, I had tuned this album out a lot, and I was originally coming in at like a light 5, but I think after our discussion, I've been faced with a lot of the problems contained here, and I'm at like a 4. Honestly, it's not great.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm also at a 4. I think that I would listen to like Turn It On Salvador sometimes. So I think there are like some redeeming qualities and there's some fun to be had, but most of it is just doesn't hit the mark, which seems to be the theme. Is that like everything, there was a lot of potential there and it just didn't fall through at all.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's never talk about this album again.
All right.
What do we have next? Cold War.
Cold War. Jason, this is also your pick. Do you want to introduce this movie?
Yeah, sure. So, pardon me, but I'm not sure I have the pronunciation of the director's name. So it's Cold War, 2018, directed by a Polish man named
All right, I'll sacrifice myself. Paweł Pawlikowski.
Yes.
Let's just go with it.
Yeah.
We're right.
We'll call him Powell from now on. Our good old Polish Powell.
I should actually, one sec. You keep talking about the movie. I'm gonna pull it up in Google Translate.
It is a film about a love that shouldn't be in the Cold War era Poland, communist bloc Poland, where one individual is trying to create a show that celebrates the history of rural Poland, and he meets one of the dancers he hires, and then they face many trials and tribulations throughout their relationship. Yeah, I think that sums up the general idea of the movie. Anything you guys would like to add?
This movie is all in black and white, so that's sad,
yeah.
obviously.
It's set in the Cold War, which was all black and white. So
Yeah, Cold War. There's communism and freedom, so black and white. Well,
I don't know. I don't know where to go.
All right. I think I want to start on the aspects I like the most, which is the cinematography, which I think is really gorgeous in this film.
Yeah.
There's like one shot in particular I really want to talk about, which is basically two characters they have their backs. They seemingly, at least when I was looking at the shot, it's like you have the two characters in focus, and when I first saw it, it like was seemingly they had their backs on like this entire party like going on.
But they're standing against the mirror.
Yeah, they were standing against the mirror, and I didn't realize until the like one guy walks up to them, and you see his reflection like moving towards them, and you're like, oh shit, that's a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It looks gorgeous. I love how a lot of it is shot. A lot of the time, I like how like stark and cold a lot of the movie looks. I also love how it's in like a 4:3 aspect ratio, which actually interestingly, there's like a lot of films recently that have been using like the like box ratio, which is really cool.
I did want to add, since we're on the topic of cinematography, I'm pretty sure that Brennan and I were talking about this earlier, but it was shot almost entirely in like stills, with the characters moving inside of those stills, except a couple of scenes, which I thought like made the film look beautiful, because it was just like paintings in motion almost, where Powell would set up these shots and just have all of the acting occur in them with minimal cuts. And I just thought like it was very visually striking, because I don't know, I loved that. I didn't think this movie needed much like camera movement, because it was more about the characters and their interactions and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I
don't know.
It was a bit confusing, like at the beginning of the movie when you're still trying to like understand what's going on, because I feel like some camera movement could have helped connect pieces. But
yeah, definitely.
I think that's only like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I guess I remember specifically when the three characters are in the car.
Yeah.
You don't quite realize it like instantly that they're all in the same like place.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I get where you're coming from.
Well, I really liked this movie.
Okay.
I liked it quite a bit. Some other... I don't know. I'm gonna let you guys kind of carry.
Okay.
This movie, why do you like this movie?
Why do I like this movie? I don't know. For one, cinematography, because like I already mentioned, but cinematography is always a big thing for me as I'm watching movies. Almost more so than like story and stuff like that, because I think that film as a medium really leans upon that, because it has that quality that like other forms of storytelling don't, such as novels and whatnot, and music and everything. And I thought that Pawlikowski really did a great job of capturing the era he was shooting in.
Yeah, definitely.
I liked the story in general. Their relationship and how it was portrayed was kind of weird. It's pretty toxic. And it was a weird like amount of back and forth and disconnectedness that made me uncomfortable, and I don't know if that's like part of the intent, which it probably is. But I thought, and I also sometimes I can have trouble connecting with foreign language films too, because I feel like, I don't know, like drawing the connection between sound and like voice and language and picture kind of helps make an emotional scene. This and like a movie like Parasite like totally destroy that barrier and make it so easy to connect with the characters, I think.
Okay. I guess I'll disagree. I think the story is interesting, but to me, I guess I really rarely say this, but this movie needed to be like 40 minutes longer. I wanted so much more out of their relationship, but it just like I never, I guess, cared about the characters because they basically, it's just like they fall in love, and there's no like build, or you never see them like to just like, you barely ever see them like just kind of together and doing things, and it just led to their relationship not being believable for me.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, which in turn led to a lot of moments later in the film when they fight and like break up, and when like more emotional moments are supposed to happen. Like those didn't impact me at all because I just didn't care about the relationship.
I mean, I also kind of disagree with what you said there, because I think that's kind of the intent and the idea of the relationship in the film is the disconnectedness of it and the fact that they really can't be together, because we see what their solution is at the end of the film. Them coming to that realization.
Allowed to spoil the movie, it's okay.
Okay. Well, when they take a bunch of pills and commit suicide after getting married. I mean, the whole idea is that they want to be with each other until they die, right? But
Point of marriage, I guess, yeah.
But they're unable to do that. So they basically say, all right, let's make it happen and let's just die then. So we'll be together until we die. I think that any amount of like development of the relationship anymore would have made it seem like they had it easy. You know, they were able to see each other and be with each other as much as they wanted. And I feel like it would have taken a bit of the impact away from the finale.
I disagree a lot, because I think that if the relationship was built up more, basically it doesn't have to be them like being like 100% like in love with each other and being like head over heels for each other. But I never connected with either of the characters because you just don't spend time with either of them. It just kind of goes like excluding like credits and the intro like card or whatever. This film's like 80 minutes long, and it just basically leads to like specifically you never have time to develop either of them really. There's some small bits of development that happen, but so like I understand their general personalities, but there's never, I guess I never see like a reason why they want to be together. there's definitely like an instant attraction that they have, but it never feels genuine, I guess. Like it's not. How do I want to describe it? It's like
Feels forced, you think?
yeah, I wouldn't say it feels forced, but it feels like you're just missing something from there.
Yeah.
Like there isn't, like, to me, part of it would be like in like the first act they could have built up their relationship more, so then you like slowly see them, like, I guess, or basically they could have written it in a way so that the characters are, you know, together in love, but like have issues or whatever that seemingly keep them apart, or like basically write it in a way so I understand exactly why, like in the first act when I forget the girl's name, Zula.
Zula, yes.
Yeah. When she doesn't go to Paris with the other main character, like write it in a way so like I understand why she's not quite, like, she feels off about it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, that because like in the movie up until that point she's like portrayed as a pretty strong-willed character, and then she just chooses sort of like the path of least resistance at that point, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is a bit odd.
I think I don't know. I don't know if like that was the intent either. Like I don't know if her not going like to do the illegal border crossing was due to her like her fear or anything like that. I think it was, or her fear of the situation, but more so her fear of what she would lose from doing that, because she actually had something going on with her life there in Poland with the whole what's not, and you could see her demeanor change once she was actually living in Paris with Victor. So I don't know. I think she says that too, right? Like she said, and when we get there, I'm nothing. I don't know French. Because she's a character who lived her whole life as like an ex-con and without any sense of purpose in her life, and then she has this role and she doesn't want to give that up to start a new life again, I guess.
I guess I can definitely see where you're coming from. I just feel like it needed to be communicated better.
I wanted to say something on what you were saying, Joe. You said you said you thought that in the first act their relationship wasn't developed enough. I can definitely see that. I think like we see like 3 interactions, right? So they meet, then they bang out of nowhere, and then like the next scene they're in the field and she's like, I'm gonna love you forever.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no build up between them. It's like I like, yes, there's that love at first sight thing, but not to the point where she said that I would rather die than be with you, you know?
Yeah. I think it's definitely the thing that holds me back from this film is like because there's not that there's not that much development at first. I never really like, I don't feel the same way the characters do about each other, where like Victor towards the end has like he like literally like goes to like Poland and gets like arrested, has to spend a bunch of years in a prison or whatever, and like, but at that point I never felt that strongly about either character, so I guess I feel like the film fails to emotionally connect me to the characters and make me understand why specifically they're together,
And why they're fighting so hard to get together.
Yeah.
I can see what you're saying. I think maybe I was watching this film through rose-tinted goggles because, like I said, cinematography is pretty much the biggest thing for me. when watching a film, and I found this to be pretty striking with the still shots and everything like that. I thought it was a very nice thing to look at. And the fact that it's in black and white, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't said much about this movie. It's mostly you guys have been arguing about relationships. So I'm going to say what I like about this movie.
Okay.
The music in this movie I really like. I really like how it shows the progression of music like with time, and also how music plays a role in their relationship. There, as the movie goes on, you can see, because I think that music in the first place is the basis of their relationship, and it is what keeps the relationship going. He goes out of his way to let her record an album, and she hates it. And he tries to, he uses his music to make up for his livelihood and try and help her. And at the end, she's, performing, and after she finishes performing, she goes straight to him because of how she feels. And just the role that it plays, I really enjoy. The music in the movie is probably one of my more favorite things about this movie. But I don't think it really sustains. That the music only says so much at the end of the day, in my opinion. But I do enjoy what it says, I'll say.
Mm-hmm. There's also a big difference between how the music was portrayed in the Eastern Bloc and in Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Paris was made to be a much more charming place. And Poland was ravaged after the war and everything. But I don't know. I do think the director did a great job of capturing all of that energy that was in post World War II Europe.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Are we wrapping up here?
Are we into the wrap up?
I guess, yeah.
I'll go. I'm pretty lukewarm on this movie at the end of the day. There are some aspects of it that I like, and there are other aspects of it that I don't think work out too well. So I'm at a 6. It's not bad, but I'm not, like Joe, I'm not terribly invested in it. I think the ending, where they go back to the church, I think that was a nice little throwback, and I was like, aha. But overall, the actual ending itself isn't very surprising to me, and it's also not very impactful. So it's still a good movie, though.
Am I going next?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can go now.
I think there's aspects of this movie that are absolutely fantastic, specifically the cinematography, which I think is really gorgeous and stark. I think the music is pretty decent. It's pretty enjoyable music. But again, I just don't buy the relationship at all. I feel like the characters themselves have chemistry with each other, but it's not. They never expand upon that. And there's never any reason. I feel like there's never any reason for me to be invested with them. Because they don't really do enough to develop the relationship in a way that I feel works. So yeah, I'm at a 5. I think it's worth watching for sure. I mean, you can watch it on fucking Amazon Prime for free, so do that. But for me, this movie didn't really do anything.
Oh boy. Well, this makes my score stand out a little bit. Let me just preface this by saying, I really, really do think that cinematography can carry a film. and I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to stick by my guns. You could show me a movie with the worst story of all time. Like, just people, like, spitting at each other for an hour and a half. And if they shot it well, I'd probably give it, like, a 7. So, I gave this film a 9. Maybe it hit me in a different way than you guys did. And maybe that would change after a rewatch. But I like this. And I'm gonna stick by that, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
I will mention something quickly before we, I guess, wrap up. Is that one thing I noticed is that specifically the shots when the characters are walking remind me a ton of the way that the Before trilogy is filmed, which just feels like somewhat inspired by in certain ways. But I haven't watched the final movie in the Before trilogy, but Before Sunrise and Before Sunset are both like incredible movies about like a relationship that I really love. So also go watch those. They're on HBO Max. Go watch them. They're great. Yeah.
I wanna, before we finish time, there's this one scene where Zula's in the bathroom and she's like, metaphor, fucking bullshit, and then takes a giant swig of whiskey. Love them. Those 3 seconds in the movie, great.
Yeah.
I dropped this in chat. Oh, I said that the line where Zula says, he mistook me for my mother, so I used a knife to show him the difference when referring to her father that was molesting her. Man. Zula had some zingers throughout the movie.
Yeah.
She's like, whoa. When she was talking about how she cheated on Victor, she's like, he's a real master. And then she says, not a Polish artist like you. She's like, oh yeah, you're Polish and you make shitty art. Nice. Okay. Anyways. Hey.
What are we doing for next week, Brendan?
Next week, the album we will be reviewing is Miss Anthropocene by Grimes. And
oh no,
the movie we will be talking about is Suspiria, the new one, the 2018.
Ooh, we probably should watch the old one. Also,
it will come up in the discussion. Yes, so.
Because I'm actually super excited for that. I'm also a bit scared because it's like I don't do horror movies well.
You and I are very different in that regard.
But Brendan, you're I don't know. It's weird because like, give me a psychological horror movie and I'm like, fuck yes. But then give me like a standard horror movie where it's like it's a ghost and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm terrified. I watched Alien, really great movie, but like I was fucking terrified the entire time. Cause I'm just like, like the build, you like a certain scene starts and you're like, oh god, I know what's gonna happen. No.
Oh no, I like Alien. It's solid. The cat lives.
It's a great sci-fi movie. That's the best part. The cat lives. I'm not even joking. I looked up. I was like, I saw there's a cat and I was like, oh god, I have to check. And then I checked if the cat lived, and he did, so I was happy.
Yes, cat lives.
I feel like a movie like Clockwork Orange is much more likely to make me lose sleep than something like Alien.
Yeah, that's
something that like you said, psychological horror, which I guess Clockwork Orange really isn't, but anything Kubrick just like unsettles me to my core.
I guess that's fair. Kubrick has a very like cold feel to his movies, which is really great.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't say all of his movies. Like Doctor Strangelove is just really funny and also a really great satire. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go watch Kubrick movies. They're really good.
Yeah.
And don't listen to Toy Matinee.
Yeah. All right. Right. So next week, Miss Anthropocene and Suspiria.
That's correct.
All right. Cool.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No problem, my dude.